if you are struggling with that deep, heavy fatigue that can linger after COVID, you know just how lonely it can feel. So, in this explainer, we're going to dive into the fantastic fatigue management guide from the NHS. Our goal is to turn their best advice into real, practical steps you can actually use to start feeling better. Let's jump right in.
We're kicking things off with this quote because, wow, it just hits the nail on the head, right? It perfectly captures how this isn't just about being tired. It gets into your thoughts, your mood, your entire life. And just getting that, well, that's a huge first step.
All right, so to really tackle this thing, we've got to understand what we're up against. Let's break down what this post-COVID fatigue actually is. Because as you probably know all too well, it is so much more than just feeling a bit sleepy.
This image from the workbook is just perfect. It shows how fatigue is kind of this three-pronged attack. You've got the physical side, where even getting dressed can feel like a marathon. Then there's the cognitive part, that awful brain fog where you can't find the right word. And of course, the emotional side, which just messes with your mood. And the key thing here is, they all feed into each other.
Okay, now we're getting to the absolute heart of the matter. It's this thing called post-exertional malaise, or PEM for short. This is so important to understand. Basically, it means your symptoms get way worse after you do something. And we're not talking about running a race here. We're talking about something as small as a phone call, or even just thinking too hard.
And here's the part that messes with everyone's head. The delay. It's so weird. You do something and you feel, okay. You think, hey, maybe I'm turning a corner. But then, wham! A day, maybe even 2 days later, you crash. Hard. It can make you feel like you're going crazy, right? But look, this is a real, recognized pattern. It's not you, it's the PEM.
So that crazy delay we just talked about, it leads directly into what is probably the biggest trap for anyone trying to recover. It's called the boom and bust cycle. And honestly, for so many people, just understanding this is a total game changer. It's like a light bulb finally flickers on.
So, let's walk through it. Picture this. You wake up one morning and, whoa, you actually have a little bit of energy. It's been so long, and you get this rush of hope, thinking, yes, I'm finally getting better. I'm back. And what's the very first thing you do with that flicker of energy? You try to do everything. All the laundry that's piled up, the emails you've ignored, the dishes in the sink, you just go for it. Because man, it feels so good to feel productive again, doesn't it?
But then comes the payback. That boom of activity leads straight into the bust. That delayed crash we talked about, it hits you like a ton of bricks. And you're wiped out for days, sometimes feeling even worse than you did before. Sound familiar? That, right there, is the boom-bust cycle.
So how in the world do you get off this roller coaster? The NHS guide has this brilliant analogy. Think of your energy like your phone's battery. The boom-bust cycle is like letting your phone die completely every single day. We all know how long that takes to charge back up from zero, right? Pacing, on the other hand, is the smart way. It's about keeping that battery in the green. You stop and take little breaks to top up before you even get the low battery warning.
And that idea of keeping your battery charged leads us right to the main strategy for getting better. It's a really powerful but simple toolkit. They call it the 3 Ps.
So what are the 3 Ps? This is how you take back control. First, you plan your day. Second, you prioritize. You have to be a little ruthless here. What really has to get done today? And what can honestly wait? And third, the big one, you pace yourself. This is all about breaking big jobs into tiny, manageable pieces, with rest breaks built right in. Okay, let's make this real. Take a simple chore, like making the bed. Planning might mean making sure you can get to all sides of it easily. Prioritizing is asking yourself, does this really need to be done today? Or could someone help me? But pacing is the magic. You put on the fitted sheet, then you sit down and rest for a few minutes. Then you do the pillows, and you rest again. See? One job becomes several tiny jobs with recovery built in.
Okay, so pacing is all about managing the energy you're spending. Now let's flip that around and talk about the other side of the coin, how to properly recharge your batteries with real quality rest and sleep.
We need to talk about a really specific kind of rest. It's called therapeutic rest. And listen, this is not the same as plopping on the couch and scrolling through your phone or watching TV. Your brain is still working hard when you do that stuff. True therapeutic rest is about giving your body and your brain a complete break so they can actually, heal.
So, what does that look like? It's pretty simple. A few times a day, just for like 15 or 20 minutes,
Find a quiet, comfy spot to lie down. Maybe put on some gentle music or just enjoy the silence. You could focus on your breathing. The absolute key is no talking, no reading, no screens. Zero stimulation. And of course, we have to talk about sleep. Good sleep habits are non-negotiable. The big one is trying to go to bed and get up at the same time every single day. Yep, even on weekends. Sorry, it helps reset your body clock. Create a little wind-down routine for the hour before bed. And hey, if you're lying there and can't sleep, don't panic. Just resting quietly in the dark is still doing you a world of good.
Here's a super simple tool you can use anytime, whether it's for a rest break or to help you wind down for sleep. It's just a simple breathing exercise. Get comfy, put a hand on your belly. Now just breathe in gently through your nose and feel your stomach rise. Then just, let the air sigh out. Feel your shoulders drop. It's such a powerful little signal to your nervous system that says, hey, it's okay, you can relax now.
Okay, so we've talked about the problem, that boom-bust cycle. We've talked about the tools, the 3 Ps, rest and sleep. Now let's pull all this together and talk about how to build your own personal recovery plan.
The absolute starting point for any plan is to find your baseline. So what is that? It's the amount of activity you can do every day without causing a crash. And here's the trick. You have to think about your worst days. What can you always manage, even on a really bad day? That right there is your baseline. We're not trying to push here, we're trying to find solid ground.
And I really need you to hear this. The goal is not perfection. It is not about bouncing back to your old self in a week. Recovery is messy, with good days and bad days. The real goal right now is just to find a stable level. Once you're stable, then you can start to think about slowly, gently building back up. Please be kind to yourself through this.
Now, when you do feel ready to build up a little, the SMART Goals framework is your best friend. It helps you turn that vague feeling of, I wish I could do more, into an actual concrete plan. It forces you to ask, is this goal specific? Can I measure it? And crucially, is it achievable for me right now? Is it relevant to what I want? And can I put a time frame on it? It just brings some much-needed structure.
So, let's wrap this up with a question just for you. Don't think about next month or next year, just think about this week. After everything we've talked about, pacing, rest, finding your baseline, what is one tiny, super achievable goal you can set for yourself this week? Just one small thing. Because that first step, no matter how small it feels, is always the most powerful one.